What is poppin', NBA family? Thank you for joining us on the Association Podcast. I'm your host, Randall Gim, and I got my guys, Mark Wilson and Chris Jordan, with me today. Thank you for joining me today, fellas.
No problem. No problem. Thanks for having us.
No doubt. No doubt.
Glad to be here, man.
Fantastic basketball minds that I'm ready to pick the brains and hopefully get into some arguments today. One thing that we can't really argue about.
So, man. Tell us what happened, man.
Right. One thing that we can't really argue about, what we want to report on, is all the happenings recently with Ja Morant. So first, let's talk about the statement that he issued recently. So he said, "I take full responsibility for my actions last Saturday, and I'm sorry to my family, teammates, coaches, fans, and partners of the city of Memphis and the entire Grizzlies organization. I'm going to take some time away to help and work on learning with better methods of dealing with stress and my overall well-being." He has also reportedly been admitted to a rehab center for drugs and alcohol. And man, that dude be going crazy on Instagram Live with sipping Casamigos straight out the bottle, and Douce and 1942, big tequila guy. But let's hope that he can, get control of that and figure out what is going to be best for him. But gentlemen, my question to you is, what does the public need to see that will prove that Ja Morant is truly receiving help? Because the public doesn't need to know everything, but what is going to be enough for people to be able to move on from the situation? I'll leave that. Go ahead over to you, Chris.
Man, I was about to say let Mark go first, because Mark seems so ready to talk right now about it.
That's why I wanted him to go last.
Talk about it.
If you want him to go, let him go.
But I'll go first. But me personally, from the public standpoint, I feel like what we got to see just as being basketball fans, just a guy that's mature, a guy that's going to change his surroundings, change his friends. Because me personally, like, Ja, you're not a regular person. Why are you, like, of course your day won't change up. But I'm going to say this. When you get older, you got to evolve. You got to grow. You got to mature. And sometimes you got to cut ties with those friends you grew up with. Because sometimes, as far as mentally, the mind, if their mindset don't change, why are you friends with them still? Me growing up, for an example, I cut friends off. Why? They didn't evolve. They didn't grow mentally. You got to cut some friends off. And then when I seen this, I was pissed off. I'm like, what is wrong with this idiot? This man is at the strip club holding a gun in his hand, laughing, just flashing the gun like it's cool. Like, dude, you have so much at stake. And then I'm going to say this. What true friends will let their homeboy go on IG Live and flash a gun? And then it's so many incidents. A 17-year-old kid pulled a gun out on him. Then versus the Pacers, Ja point lasers at people. It's like there's so many incidents. Like, what are you doing, Ja Morant? You have to think about first your daughter, one, your family, your sister, and like he's built so much for this moment. Ja, his whole life, he's worked for this moment, getting to the league, taking a sacrifice, being in camps, being at AAU, doing all this. And he seems like he doesn't care. And it's like, Ja, of course he's young, but I feel like sometimes you can't do things like regular folks can do because you have a target that's on your back. The media, the league, they know you're famous. And Ja, he signed with Nike, got a shoe deal. It's like You can't do certain things. And it's like just seeing a guy that just keep doing dumb stuff over and over and over again. Eventually, they will humble you as far as the league. And it's right now, he should be suspended indefinitely, in my opinion, for the rest of the season. Because what he did, he's crossed the line. Because you I'm Silver, you got to humble this man. Because years ago, Gilbert Arenas brung guns inside the arena. Gilbert Arenas. Hey, I'm sorry, you gotta humble him. You gotta humble him because even though he's a great basketball player, he's not being great off the basketball court. And
So hold on
sometimes what
one
separates
second,
the
Chris.
coaches,
1 second, Chris. So I'm glad you mentioned that because I don't know if you saw that Damian Lillard freestyle rap that he did. Well, it was a written rap, but he did it on the plane while they were waiting to take off. And he said, "Team full of shooters. You would have thought we was the Wizards." Is this what you're talking about?
man, man, it's crazy. It's just like it just like makes me mad. But I hope he gets the help that he needs, as far as just I don't know, just therapy, counseling, and just and last T Morant, Ja, T Morant, you are his dad, not his homeboy. Dude, talk to your son. I don't care if he is the breadwinner. I'm your daddy. I made you. You my kid. Shut up and listen. Just saying.
Word.
Mark the floor.
Mark, the floor is yours, brother.
This situation. What do I need to see from him as far as the public? Nothing. I don't want to see nothing from him. I'm good with second chances just because of personal reasons. But this guy has gotten second, third, fourth chances. Honestly, it's been things bubbling that the media presents to us, and we was like, "Oh no, they lying." Especially with the red bean, we thought they was bugging. Come to find out, they probably wasn't. This story right here irks me because one, we're finding out that they had a players only meeting prior to my man going out that same night. Steven Adams said, "Let's not go out." Ja said, "I'm going to go out." The other issue with me is, all right, you in Denver. Last time I checked, I think he was born in South Carolina. So who the hell are you meeting up with in Denver? That y'all in the club, not even that. I come from a different lifestyle. My man is in the club, strip club, with his shirt off around a bunch of dudes. That's the other part that really had me. So if that's not your crew, who do you know? Not even that. How did the club even let somebody in there with a gun? First of all. Secondly, I don't even want to do it, but you were doing things with your fingers. My issue with him in that regard is, go ask Pop Smoke Mom. Go ask, is it PNB? I think it's the other rapper. Yep. Go ask his mom how they feel about Instagram Live or about locations. So we all know that when you step out, you're a target already because you're walking around with $100,000 worth of jewelry on. You're probably driving, a Maybach or something like that. So the real street dudes, they're watching you already. So you in the club and you flashing guns, you flashing signs, you flashing chains. You're a target, B. You know this. Because for one, you play in Memphis, Tennessee. I watch First 48. There's always an episode in Memphis, Tennessee on First 48. So, Jai, you know better. So the fact that you know better, but you still continue to do the dumb stuff, that's what pisses me off. So what I mean by like you're being watched is you're kind of putting into someone's face like, I'm untouchable. These street dudes out here, they don't care. Everybody out here getting robbed. They killing cats out here. Like, they don't care. So the fact that, once again, Steven Adams said, yo, let's not do this. But you saying I'm going to go out with my chain on, iced out, probably pocket full of money in the strip club, and I'm going to floss in front of the regulars. The regulars means, I don't know what Denver's like. I've never been there. But I'm pretty sure everybody got hood cats everywhere. You're lucky you made it out of there alive. That's one thing. You're lucky. Then you flashing the gun on Instagram Live. I still don't know what the hell you were thinking with that one. That was just the dumbest. Do I really think it was his gun? No. But if your homeboy's not fly out with you, who the hell was in that video with you? Then an old video surfaced years ago, before his dress was like mad long, where they had guys in Memphis. Dude pointing the gun again. Was like, yo, long as y'all here, he always good with us. Like, who the hell you got around you, my dude? No, we all know there's rules to the hood. You go somewhere, you check in. Like, real talk. If you a blood dudes are going to protect you. But Crip dudes are going to come. I mean, that's just the nature of the business. Me personally, if you're a job and I'm a blood, I'm going to extort you. Not because I want your money or I want to take your life. It's because I'm going to make you pay me to protect you. Because you on Instagram Live, pocket full of money, jewelry, cars. You're a mark to me. That's where I say with Ja, I don't want to hear none of that. Oh, I was stressed. Dude, I work a 9 to 5, bro. I'm stressed every day. I gotta make sure I'm okay, make sure my kid's okay. That's stress. What you going through is not stress, bro. You an alcoholic. That's because you're rich. Let's keep it real. It's poor alcoholics out here, but we not out here shooting everybody up. So when we post that in our chat group, I was a little angry with that. When I was like, yo, I don't want to hear none of that stress crap. That whack PR that he gave. Oh, I'm stressed. I'm just going through the... Shut up. Really shut up. You ain't stressed because you ain't fighting on the court. But you could bring guns outside, but you're not fighting nobody on the court. When that joint popped off with Shannon Sharp, you wasn't in the mix of that. You was there, but you wasn't about to fight. So that means you can handle what you want to handle. So sorry to go on long-winded, but like I said, he really pissed me off. And then the people that's like really defending him, like Jalen Rose, Paul Pierce. Oh, I got stabbed. You got stabbed because you was a fool. You was stabbed because you was a fool in Boston. They caught you slipping. Same way they gonna catch Ja. I don't want nothing to happen to the young brother. I hope he gets help. Yep. And I mean that's all I got to say about it. He just hurt my heart because we could lose another young kid because he's being. You're not even a street dude. You're not even Allen Iverson. I get it. You're not even close to what Iverson was in Newport News. Different lifestyle, my dude. You want to be a thug. Anybody that wants to be a thug, you die still wanting to be a thug.
And that's what I truly don't. That's what I truly don't understand either. Like, what is the benefit to showing off the guns, showing off the gang signs, showing off, all of this hard attitude and all of this threats of violence to, finish line employees, 17-year-old kids, and then the traveling staff of the Indiana Pacers? Like, what
they do to you?
It's like flexing on, it's like bullying. It's literally bullying. Like, allegedly the 17-year-old that he got in a fight with was in self-defense, but even if it wasn't, he's going to make that claim to, try to save face. And when you hear about that kind of stuff, like, he should be way beyond this. Like, we all understand that he's a younger dude and he still has things to learn, but when you have a guy like Steven Adams, a guy that's seen a lot of people in the league, has dealt with people like Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook has affiliations out there as well, but you don't see him doing that kind of stuff. John Wall, same thing. Like, John Wall can be a little bit out there with it, and we've seen him on Instagram Live with some red flags and whatnot, but he's still not flashing guns. He's still not, threatening violence upon people. And I don't understand. Like, we just seen the case with Young Thug and Gunna, and then other rappers that are getting charged with these RICO cases. Like, if he's telling people to go do stuff for him, that stuff is about to get unburied, and it's going to come to light pretty quickly if this doesn't get resolved immediately. And now he's under investigation, bringing heat to himself and people around him. Like, it's just not safe situation. So what I want to see is that he changes his circle around him. Like, I think you guys brought this up already. My parents always told me this: you're a product of the 5 closest people that you hang out with the most. And those people, that are around you the most, you have to be selective and you have to be careful because, man, we're all sponges. And when it comes to the pressure, we're going to squeeze out what we absorb. And it's just not going to be safe for anybody involved. And like you said, Mark, um, people like Pop Smoke and P&B Rock, you got to be careful what you're doing and who you're advertising to because you and the people around you could be in danger. And it's just not safe. So now it has come out that Ja is in rehab and is going to be taking care of his alcoholism and other things of that nature. So he's going to be taking some substantial time away, if not the rest of the season.
Mm.
So, how does this impact the Grizzlies with the end of the regular season approaching so quickly? Chris, I'll kick it over to you, brother.
Man, I'm gonna answer the question. I feel like, far as the Grizzly standpoint, Morant, they're not gonna do much. As far as maybe a first round exit, I feel like because they had some key injuries as far as key players. And then without Ja, he's their superstar. And then Steven Adams, he's out injured right now. So I feel like Memphis right now, the team without Ja Morant, this is definitely going to affect them as far as the seeding because the Western Conference is very close as far as the games and the seeds right now. So I feel like this was a big hit because I think Adam Silver will suspend Ja indefinitely. I feel like we're not saying Ja Morant no more this season. I feel like he needs time to grow mentally, emotionally, and just grow because right now this is serious. So I think Memphis, they're in a big hole. And so right now I think their season, going to the playoffs, yes, but far as deep playoff run, that is dead. First round exit without Ja Morant, it is a wrap. Even with Ja, I didn't have one in the championship. With Ja, second round exit with him. So without him, first round exit probably a sweep because with how the seed's going right now, they're the 2 seed. So most likely, you might face the Clippers in the first round. You might face the Lakers in the first round. You might face one of those top high seeds in the first round. So I feel like they have a first round exit. So I don't expect them to do much without Ja Morant. So I feel like they're in the hole. The
Yeah.
season is done as far as a championship aspirations because with Ja Morant, basically a title or bust. Because Ja said during months ago, during the interview, we
Mm.
good in the West. We good. We are
Ever since
good in
he
the
said that.
West. You seen KD with the Suns a couple days ago? You seen Dallas? You seen the Warriors? Denver, you seen so many teams. So right
And
now,
now they're
y'all
12 and
not good
20
in
on
the
the
West.
road.
Y'all not good because the West is loaded. It's stacked up right now. So Ja, without you, y'all ain't doing nothing. And with you, it's still losing. So they're in the hole regardless, in my opinion. To be
Mark,
honest.
Do you have anything to add to that?
Chris is laid, all around. I agree with him. They still gonna make the playoffs unless something just crazy happens. They got enough talent. What's the kid? Tyrus Jones, I think.
Tyus Jones,
Yeah,
Apple
I
Valley,
think he's going to come
Minnesota.
in and
we have
he's a pretty
Jaren
solid player. But
Jackson. They still have
I'm with Chris. Yeah,
And
first round, they gone. They're going to make the playoffs just because of what they built, over the course of the season. But I'm with Chris. First round, you out. Like I don't see them going far. I'm sorry. Once again, sorry that Ja's going through this. I'm sorry for the injuries they had because when playoffs hit, I want to see everybody 100%. I never want to hear
right.
no one say, "Well, what if?" I hate that. I would love to see everybody 100%, and they won't be. And that's Ja's fault, and part of the Grizzlies' fault. Once again, I'm getting back on that subject. That's how much that subject pisses me off. But yeah, first round exit. That's it for them.
And everything that is going on with Ja and Dylan Brooks and all this negativity, it's kind of overshadowed the fact that Brandon Clark is out with a torn Achilles. And so we wish the
Yeah.
best for him and hope that he is able to recover because we know it's going to be until this time next year that he might even be available. So it's going to be a tough, long road back, but he's a tough player. He's so athletic and so talented, and he's been vital to their success for a long time now. So hope the best for him moving forward. Um, Switching the gears to a little bit of a more positive note, man, we got the new Knicks. The Knicks are looking tough with a 9-game win streak, winning in double overtime versus the Boston Celtics just a couple days ago.
Uh, oh,
And man, with this team, Julius Randle is finally, playing like the all-star that he became. And I'm surprised that he's hitting all these 3-pointers because in the 3-point shootout, he was bricking the things, man.
you ain't got to do that, Randall.
I was not surprised that he was bricking them things, but now he's hitting them in clutch time situations, and they're giving him ISO one-on-ones at the end of games. Like, that is not who what I've expected to be, holding them down during clutch time. Um, in this 9-game win streak, and you know, with the playoffs coming up, just like we mentioned before, give me one word to describe the Knicks right now, and why you picked that word. Mark, go ahead, brother.
Resilient.
Nice.
Okay, yeah, I just made that up right there on the fly. You know what I'm saying? But nah. For one, I live here, so you get to see and hear how. I hate to say this. How do you say this? I guess Chris may feel the same way. The NBA is not the NBA unless the Lakers are playing good ball. The NBA is not the NBA unless the Knicks are playing good ball.
Everybody's asking, are the Lakers going to make the playoffs? Are they going to do this? Are they going to do that?
Yeah.
Even though they're in 12th place.
So like with the Knicks and watching them, and I always been a Randall fan ever since he was drafted by those guys out west, and I don't like the way they did him, but still, when he came here, and me watching him, Randall never complains. This is probably one of the hardest outlets to play for, and in the NBA. New York is crucial when it comes to their teams. Now, this is the guy every year the fans want him gone. Like, oh, trade Randall, he's a bum. He's like, dude, my man, I made it 2 all-star teams for y'all. Literally, since he's been here, he averaging 23 and 10 a game since he's been here. And like, what the hell else do you want? Like, damn, Melo wasn't even doing that. But shit, Patrick might have been the same level of doing that. What he needed was help. Brunson came, which I don't care who it is. Nobody will admit it. Everybody had to laugh at that contract when they signed Brunson for all that money, especially when they couldn't get Donovan Mitchell. They're like, oh, well, here's our consolation prize. You take Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, it was just a flash in the pan with him.
Brunson is a better Dallas, fit than Donovan Mitchell could have ever been for this team. I don't care what Stephen A says. Stephen A can go kiss an egg. Brunson is exactly what Randall needed. They balling. They are playing team ball in Tibbs. They finally learned how to play. Well, damn, there's no defense in the league. Everybody's scoring 130 points a game, but they're doing their best. But no, I like them, man. They're resilient, and even as a Sixers fan, I'm rooting for them boys, man. Because once again, I live here and I want to live. So, I can't go to the store and be walking out with a Sixers hat all day long.
Yeah, and Greg says that the big difference is Thibs isn't running these guys into the ground. But
yeah.
Emmanuel quickly almost played 60 minutes in that double overtime game. So it's still kind of happening. And we still haven't seen Derrick Rose coming in to relieve the missing Jalen Brunson. It's been it's in Emmanuel Quickly's hands, and he's been balling. He's been showing that he can play, and the Kentucky product is showing that Kentucky can make these fantastic guards like Malik Monk, John Wall. Man, the list goes on, and he is now added to that elite list. Yeah, Maxey. Oh my gosh, bro, these guys are insane.
From Kentucky on the Lakers? No. Oh, damn, AD.
Yeah. Chris, what's one word to describe the Knicks' playoff chances, or one word to describe the Knicks? Let me change that. One word to describe the Knicks going into the playoffs.
I think one word to describe the Knicks is hot. They're hot in rhythm. They kind of find the groove at the right time, but I say hot. They're hot right now. I think they're finding the groove. They kind of. I feel like during the season, you got to figure out what works for you. And I figured out it's kind of got the right time because I ain't gonna lie, they beaten Boston the past couple of times this season. If they've been
Yeah.
clicking at the right time, watch that game versus the Heat. Julius Randle made a nice buzzer beater. I'm like, when he made that shot, I was like, oh my God, Julius Randle making threes like this now? Okay. But just watching the Knicks play, they're playing good, playing pretty okay defense. And then Tom Thibodeau, I feel like sometimes coaches gotta adapt because it's not the old school basketball way now. Far as just defense, because teams don't play much defense these days. So I feel like scoring more and kind of shooting the three well and just playing good ball movement because really these days most teams don't play as physical. It's kind of just a high scoring game. But right now they're playing good team basketball, and really the Knicks, I ain't gonna lie, they kind of surprised me. A 9-game winning streak. They've been red hot. RJ Barrett had Julius Randle. He been a man amongst boys. So just watching the Knicks play is very exciting. Got me thinking though. I'm saying
Uh-oh.
this. If
Uh-oh.
they would have traded for Donovan Mitchell with Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, and Julius Randle, hey man, that's a team that can go deep in the playoffs, like deep in the playoffs. I love RJ Barrett, but let's be honest here. RJ Barrett is not better than Donovan Mitchell. Let's be real. This is a fact.
Oh,
This is a
but you gotta
fact that I'm
remember
saying.
though. You gotta remember, Chris, with that trade, they would have lost quickly with that trade. Quickly was part of that trade.
Well,
So you would have got Mitchell, but you would
true.
have lost quickly.
So do you think that if they would have had Donovan Mitchell, would they be a better basketball team? Yes or no?
They would have been scoring as well. Like sometimes, man, the name is the name. But if you can't coexist, I think this group just coexists because they've been together for like 2 or 3 years already, except for Brunson, of course. But like what happened with the Knicks was, well, also another point was, I wait a minute, if I could be getting this wrong. Did Brunson come after they lost Mitchell or before they was trying to get Mitchell?
Brunson, he was a free agent. So getting to Brunson, they lost nothing. He was free agent, left Dallas, went to New York, got his money. Got tired of playing with Luka, two ball dominant, all that. Went to New York, free. They ain't lose nothing. So getting Donovan Mitchell, they would have still had Jalen Brunson and Juliano. Still had those two. That, like in the East, a solid big three. You got two closers. You got a guy that's versatile. You bang inside, shoot threes, run the floor, and Randall. So it's been a really good big three. But the Knicks got it rolling right now. RJ Barrett, they have shooters. They're playing good basketball. So I mean, right now, what they got going, keep doing it because it's working right now. Because right now, New York feeling like this. Boston's not playing too good right now. They're blowing big
Yeah.
leads, losing games. It's about matchups. So the Knicks get some good matchups. They got a shot to make a run, or maybe to the second round. Because I don't think they could beat a team like Milwaukee, a Tilly, or a team Bucks. Boston. But Boston right now, they got a shot beating Boston. Boston right now is kind of just, I don't know right now. But as far as Milwaukee and Philly, based on the matchups, on the end, but I can say right now, I think they have a shot maybe. But besides the Bucks and Philly, Boston right now is showing me I can't really trust Boston right now because one, when playoffs come, it's kind of, the game slows down. It's about coaching and adjustments. And the Boston head coach right now hasn't proven that yet. Last year, Udoka proved that. So with Boston, I don't know right now. But leads, the late games, It just right now it's kind of tossing a coin toss right now with Boston. But far as the Knicks, they're in a good place right now overall.
I agree.
And looking a little bit forward, they got
Right now
Charlotte
it's
next.
shaping up. The first round could be Cleveland versus the Knicks in the first round. Don't like
And we'll get to see what that looks like as we approach the end of the season. They got
that. Like
16
for the
games left. We got
today.
Charlotte, Sacramento, and then they go over to with Sacramento that they start a Western Conference tour, going from Sacramento over to the Lakers, the Clippers, Portland, and then to Denver and versus my Minnesota Timberwolves. And then they got Miami twice, and then Cleveland finally on March 31st. And then they also get to wrap up the season against Indiana, the Pelicans, and Indiana again. So they got some winnable games in there for sure
Yeah,
to
yeah.
solidify their spot over there at the 5 seed. And they're right behind Cleveland, just 1.5 games behind the 4 spot. So if Cleveland, is able to keep their streak going, then they should be all right. But they got to be careful. The Knicks are right behind them and can take that 4 spot and home court advantage. So
It has
if
me
I were to pick,
thinking, how has he survived? He's in New York with a Sixers hat on. How you
Don't worry
survive?
about it. Eagles hat, Flyers hat, Phillies, everything. Born and raised in Philly, man. That's home, so
Gotcha.
they got to deal with it. They got to deal with it.
so if I were to pick my one word for the Knicks going into the playoffs, I would say unproven.
Ooh,
So I
no
this is the
gangster.
same this is the same team that lost the Atlanta Hawks, um, with Trey Young becoming the arch nemesis of everybody in New York. And I just can't live past that right now. Yeah, you're on a 9-game win streak, and my big thing is win streaks in the regular season. If you want to prove that you're a true playoff team and that you're coming in to play night in, night out, you got to go on a win streak. You got to win 7 or more games in a row, once or twice at least in the season, to prove that you're not playing around.
And they have
Um,
done that. They've done that.
yeah, and they have done that, and I'm excited to see what they'll do in the playoffs. But when they went into overtime, both of those overtimes, um, they were just kind of letting both those teams run ISOs and on ball pick and rolls, and it was kind of frustrating to see. Like even JJ Redick and Richard Jefferson were talking like you got to have some movement out there. Um, that's how the Celtics were able to get back into that game
Mm-hmm.
after going on a 0-7 run towards the end of the first regulation. Um, the Celtics started moving the ball, and they were able to find Horford. They were able to find Smart, and then they were able to get Jaylen Brown on that isolation down low on the block to get that and one to tie the game. Like all this stuff is movement and sets, and Tibbs is supposed to be the half court guru. Like that's what he wants. Is he's never been a guy that wants to run and gun. He's always been slow the ball down, have those set plays that they like to go to. And I didn't see any of that in those double overtime. Um, so when it comes to this team being proven in the playoffs, it's going to be really tough to get past that Cleveland team with both of those towers down there, down low with Evan Mobley, Jarrett Culver, and then fantastic defenders like Isaac Okoro. And Donovan Mitchell is no slouch on the defensive end either.
Oh no.
Darius Garland, that's a debate.
There's
But
another.
but it's going to be a really good first round series, and that could change the entire landscape of the playoff bracket over there in the East. Now, anything we want to add to the Knicks before we move on to the Western Conference?
I mean, as long as they don't beat my Sixers, I don't care what they do. You know what I'm saying?
Man, the Sixers are looking tough. We could talk about them real quick, Mark. How are you feeling about them right now?
Oh, I'm same spot. Regular season, just normal. Like this what they do. I need to see what they do in April. or June, whenever the hell the damn playoffs start.
April, May,
Right.
June
Yeah.
playoffs.
What they doing right now? I've been watching it for the past 3 to 4 years. I'm like, oh, this is normal. But when that playoffs start, I need to see you turn it on. That's it.
Right. And I was really happy to see James Harden put up 38 that night. Who were they playing? I can't
Milwaukee.
remember.
Milwaukee.
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 Yeah, the comeback against Milwaukee. Man, I was just talking to my friend Meech. He's a big James Harden
What, do you
fan.
know Big
So
Meech?
yeah, right. That's his Instagram handle too. Shout out Big Meech. The he was watching the 76ers game as we were watching the John Jones fights on Saturday. And man, I was like, man, I need James Harden to put up 40, 45 again. Because for him to
Mm,
be able to get downhill and to be that lethal foul drawer and everything like that, he still needs to be able to get his own from the perimeter. And he can't rely on Joel Embiid to bail him out with these mid-range and threes, and because they're going to be defending him on the roll pretty often. They're not going to let them bully him down low. So I need to see Harden be able to take over and be able to be that perfect scorer. But as Greg said, he put up 20 assists last night
yeah.
in an amazing victory. So he's shown to be that point guard that can do it all. But I think he still needs to be that lethal scorer and be able to, take over possessions every now and again, because that's all he was doing in Houston. And now all he's doing in Philly is being that true point guard. And now I need to see a perfect blend of the two. And he says, what else do I need to do to prove people right or prove people wrong, whatever? Man, I need to see a little bit more because, like I said before we started the show, I've been picking Philly for like the past 4 or 5 years to
Word.
make it out of the East. And if the time is any, it is right now. So, Chris, how do
Word.
you feel about the Sixers right now, brother?
Man, I'm watching Philly right now. They're looking good right now. But for me personally, as far as Philadelphia, I could care less about the regular season. What James Harden did on Saturday night was great. 38 points. He was magnificent. He was a big time player that night. Hit big shot after big shot after big shot. But thing with James Harden and the Sixers and Joel Embiid, one, James Harden in the playoffs. He has to duplicate what he does in the regular season to the postseason. Two, can Joel Embiid stay healthy in the postseason? Can he stay healthy? Three, can they get over the hump finally? Get to conference finals. They've been bumped out in the second round for the past 4 to 5 years. It's time for a
Word.
change. It's time to get over the hump. I'm tired of seeing these guys in the same year losing the second round, losing the second round, losing the second round. Get past the second round, please. Get past the second round and see what happens. And Doc Rivers, he's on the hot seat. Mr. Doc, it's time. Because me
I agree.
personally, in my opinion, he's overrated as a coach because since Boston in '08, he ain't done much. Let's be honest here. So, Doc, you're on the hot seat. It's time to get over the hump. You came to Philly to win a championship. Joel Embiid, you got Jane Harden, you got Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris. You got a good supporting cast. You got a good team around you. They have the pieces, the depth. They have the dominant player. Joel Embiid, right now, he's top three in the league. Top three by far. Most dominant player in the league, Joel Embiid. Dominance.
Yes,
Well, I
sir.
mean,
Yes, sir.
besides John.
Mm-hmm.
But to get over the hump, it's time to stay healthy. And James Harden, it's time to put a great playoff performance throughout the whole postseason. It's time. When y'all gonna do it? It's now or never. Because if they don't do it this year, they ain't gonna never do it because this is the best they've played in a long time. They really can do some damage right now. They are a dangerous team. And right now, how it's shaping in the second round, right now, they're probably going to face Boston. Boston's had their number the past couple of years. Can they finally beat Boston in the playoffs? It's time. Get over the hump, make it happen, no excuses, and play ball and dominate and see what happens to Doc Rivers. If he doesn't get it done this year, fire Doc. Get rid of him. Man,
That
I'm
fire
serious.
dog.
Find somebody else. It's time. It's time. It's now or never.
I
It
agree.
is
I
time.
agree.
Get over the hump and do what y'all do. And guess what? Get to a finals. Fine, please. It's time.
Yes, sir. Well
But I'm
said. Well said. Let's move over from the east to the other side, to the west. And we only have three teams right now that are on three or more win streaks, and that's the Timberwolves, the Suns, and the Nuggets. The Nuggets have won their fourth in a row. And I want to hear, who do you see extending that win streak the longest? So, looking at their schedules, um, which team do you think has, the most winnable schedule going forward? Mark, go ahead, brother.
It's a wild part. Like, I didn't even look at your schedule. I'm Phoenix. Like,
Right.
I don't even care. They can play the CB. Everybody can play the CB. Like, Phoenix right now, yeah, they're a problem. They
Yeah.
are a problem. The issue that I would have with them is Paul need to score just a little bit more, or Aiton need to score a little bit more. But Jesus, that team is lethal, man. Like KD is, well, he's probably the most pure scorer that the NBA probably has ever seen. Y'all can talk Jordan, Kobe, like KD is a walking bucket, man.
Yep.
Like Jordan them had to work for it. It's like KD just do that, just like off. No, like Jesus, I've never seen a mid range game like that in my life. But he was doing that in college. But I don't see them losing unless load management happens. That's it.
Right. And JJ Redick said it perfectly. What defense are you going to be able to play against these guys? Because you can't play in drop coverage because, DeAndre Ayton can hit the mid range every once in a while, hits a nice floater. You got really good touch. And then you can't, you're going to have to blitz Devin Booker or Kevin Durant coming off a screen. But then you got Devin Booker or Kevin Durant sitting by themselves, 1, 2 passes away. So he said you're going to have to leave open Ish Wainwright, but he's been hitting corner threes, and then you got Landry Shamet out there who is lethal from the 3-point range, and so you can't. I mean, you're going to have to see if those guys can beat you. But what? Oh man, who was Phoenix playing where they were leaving Chris Paul open for three? It was just the other night.
Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas. Thank you. Dallas was letting Chris Paul shoot threes, and he's still hitting them. And then you can't play drop against Chris Paul because he's going to hit the mid range too. Same with KD. Same with Devin Booker. So, how really are you going to guard these guys? I'm not even sure how you're going to make it happen.
It's called pray. You got to pray.
Yeah.
KD just
You got to pray that
KD
that they have an off night.
Like
Yeah,
when Austin Rivers was getting cooked by Damian Lillard, and then he finally misses a shot, he puts his hands up, says, "Thank you."
Word. That's the only thing, man. They are lethal. Like Jesus Christ.
And we know KD can go get a bucket whenever he wants. And same with Devin Booker. And then Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton on the pick and roll is like very extremely tough to guard. So, man, I know our boy Steven is just salivating about getting to the playoffs because, man, they're finals favorites for sure. They're finals favorites. Chris, in terms of this question, besides the Suns, between the Timberwolves and the Nuggets, who do you think between those teams will be able to extend their winning streak? And let me hit you with their schedule really quick.
I was just going to say that myself because based on the schedule that I've looked at, from my opinion, for the schedule is the Denver Nuggets because they got a weak schedule. Because the next couple of games, they have the Bulls, you have the Spurs, you have the Nets, the Raptors, the Pistons at New York, at Brooklyn, at Washington Wizards, the Bucks, and Philly. So based on their schedule, it's kind of the Denver Nuggets because uh, the Suns got a tough schedule. The Suns have the Thunder on the morrow. You got Sacramento. You got the Warriors. then Milwaukee. So they got three tough games back to back to back. So
Bro,
me
yeah.
personally, based on the schedule, far as the question, the team that have far the easiest route is probably the Denver Nuggets because the schedule was weak. So I could see maybe the Suns losing maybe one game
I
in the
agree.
street and Denver winning about 5 games straight because of the schedule. But far as the dangerous team between the Suns and Denver, it's probably Phoenix because of KD, Book, you got Aiden, you got Paul. But based on the schedule, it's the Denver Nuggets because they have a weak schedule.
And
I agree with Chris.
do you think that that helps them or ails them as they get ready for the playoffs playing these weaker teams? Like, do you think it's going
I
to be
feel
good
like
that they're
with
working on their
Denver,
sets, or do you think it's going to be harder because once they see those tougher teams in the playoffs, you know what I'm saying? Like, which balance do you think it is?
me personally with Denver, I feel like it doesn't matter because they've been playing great all season. Like they're number one seed for a reason. So they've been playing great from top to bottom, from start to finish at the start of the season. So I feel like the schedule for them doesn't matter. But far as the Phoenix, I feel like this is a great thing for them because just getting Kevin Durant, they need these big games versus great teams. So they need these reps. Like to see, okay, how good are we? And basically what works, what doesn't work, versus what can work too. So I feel like with Phoenix, they need these tough games for a battle tested to see how battle tested they are. Well, far as the Denver Nuggets, they've been battle tested all season. They're kind of a team that's kind of proven themselves already, and now they have Jamal Murray back healthy. So I think they're a team that's ready for the playoffs. And so I think right now, Denver is maintaining that number one seed, have home court, do what they do. In Phoenix, they're trying to just get many games as possible with Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Chris Paul, and Aiden for just getting that key. Main thing. Of course, KD is KD. Plug him in everywhere. He does KD things. But
He does KD
I do
things.
think it does benefit the Suns more. And for
I like
Denver, it
KD.
doesn't really matter because they're number one seed regardless. And then they can probably some games rest Jokic and give them some rest because the postseason time it's time to play every game now. Do what you got to do. And so think about the Suns, though I can't about Phoenix. They're a team that's dangerous, but they do lack depth because in the playoffs, I'm hoping no one gets hurt. I'm hoping. But we know that Mr. Chris Paul inside the post, he has a history of always getting hurt. Something with his shoulder, his hamstring, his hand. It's always something.
Always something.
So hopefully Chris Paul can stay healthy because he's very brittle. He's 38 years old. He kind of declining. Let's be real. So this kind of the same time with having that thin bench and not much depth problem. But I think in playoffs, most teams 12, 8 deep anyways. So that could be a good thing for him as well. And then with having Kevin Durant and Devin Booker and Aiden, too, and having campaign off the bench, paying as well. So teams right now, the Suns need the reps because they're a better team to get reps. And for Denver, man, we the number one seed. We good. We just winning games, man.
Yeah. And just to give a little perspective on the Timberwolves side of this, because I agree with both of you, man. Phoenix, they're unguardable, and then Denver has got the easy schedule. Listen to this Timberwolves upcoming schedule, man. You got Philly, they're coming to town tonight, and then Brooklyn twice, Atlanta, Toronto, New York Knicks, and then Golden State, Sacramento, Phoenix, Lakers, Portland, Brooklyn again, San Antonio, and New Orleans Pelicans.
Man, they won one game.
That's what I'm saying. San Antonio.
They won one game. San Antonio.
What else we got, man? Like, do we really have to end the season like this?
That's ugly.
Shit. But if they so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 16 games left. If they go,
y'all going 1-15, B.
Yeah. I'm putting them over under at 7 games. If they go over 7 games or at 7 games, we'll be able to solidify a playoff spot. But if we if we drop, like you said, if we go 1 for 15, man, the Lakers might pass us up. We might be out. Like that's how tight this Western Conference is. And the Timberwolves right now are sitting in the 6th spot, and when the Lakers and the Pelicans at the 12, we're 12 and a half games behind first seed, and Pelicans are the Oklahoma City Thunder are
Yeah,
only 3 games behind us,
I don't know
and
how the
that's
hell they want to get
7 spots below. Like I've been I've been drilling this narrative all season that there's been a tight race in the Western Conference, and it hasn't changed. It hasn't changed one bit. Like it's been shuffling around, but the
Yeah,
fact that it's still so tight, none of these teams are able to go on a run. So that's why I wanted to talk about this and figure out which of those teams are going to be, can make a difference in the West. But let's wrap up our conversation for today with this question right here. Outside of the Nuggets and the Suns, who is the biggest threat in the West? Because we know it's not the Grizzlies. And then the Sacramento Kings, they haven't been this high since Chris Webber was around.
ooh,
And the Golden State Warriors, they're hobbled, missing Gary Trent Jr. and Andrew Wiggins with personal reasons. And then what else you got? I don't know who
the
else. Like
Clippers.
the Clippers. Go ahead, Mark.
Why is everybody sleeping on the
The
Clippers?
Clippers.
See, all right, we keep making jokes about Westbrook and what's going on. The Clippers this season, they got to learn chemistry. Besides load management, they got Plumlee. He's new. Powell's been there since last season. They just added Eric Gordon. They just added Russell Westbrook. Then you go out once again, load management. They have not been able to completely gel yet. Once they get their ish together, who the hell is going to stop them?
But we've been saying that all
despite
season.
everything that he's doing, is still averaging 15 and 10. Powell is averaging 17 off the bench. Morris, I don't even know why he's on the NBA roster to begin with, but Plumlee is averaging 15 boards. I'm exaggerating.
Plumlee's going off. You're not wrong.
Once and Gordon is coming off, he's starting and then on the bench at the same time, but he's dropping 12 or 13 a game. Once they gel, they are going. You think Phoenix is hard to stop? Paul George and Kawhi by themselves is hard to stop. You don't got to worry about rebounds no more because Plumlee grabbing everything that's popping off the rim. Westbrook is getting 8 rebounds. They're gonna be a problem. They're gonna be a problem once they gel.
Mm-hmm. So just Chris, before you go in on the Clippers, looking forward at their schedule. The next 5 games, they got Toronto, the Knicks, the Warriors, Orlando, Portland, and that's the next 5.
They got 3 or 4 of those.
Oh yeah. Chris, what's your? I can tell you're hesitant about the Clippers. What's got you hesitant, bro?
That's personal right there with Chris. So yeah,
That's it. This man talking about a team that gave up 176 points, 134 points, 129 points. A team that can't defend. They can't play defense. So first off, you picking a team that hasn't won a championship ever. 1, 2, they can't play defense. They gave up 176 points, who just came off a 4-game losing streak, going to the All-Star break, whatever. Then, first off, when has Paul George and Kawhi Leonard ever played defense for the Clippers? Let's be honest. Paul George for his career, he a great two-way player. Paul George defense in his life. He ain't never stopped nobody. And let's be honest too. Kawhi Leonard, he ain't played defense since San Antonio. He ain't been a great two-way player in the past 4 or 5 seasons. And then Kawhi don't even play games. He play 1 game, he sit out 5 games. He play 1 game, out 10 games. He don't even play basketball. Let's be honest here. They're not gonna win nothing. The Clippers, man, they are trash. They are disgrace. I can't stand the Clippers. They are a franchise that would never win a darn thing. And three, the Golden State Warriors. They're the defending champs. Put some respect on their name. Of course,
I
they
did forget
lost to the
about them
Lakers.
bums. I
But
did
for the
forget about
past
them
couple
bums.
weeks,
I admit.
they've been gelling. They've been getting right. They will get with them that he's coming back. And the Golden State with Steph Curry back healthy, with Klay Thompson, who's been phenomenal this year. He's been good. The Jay is back. Klay is there. People that doubted Klay, he couldn't be the same player. He proved the doubters wrong.
He
Klay
said he
Thompson,
could be the
that
same
guy.
player.
He's my guy. But y'all up, he doing this thing. And guess what? Jordan Poole, he been balling. He a pool party. He splash, splash, splash,
Oh
and doing what he
Lord,
gotta
Lord.
do. Like
He
Roscoe
said he a pool party.
Dash. All I gotta say is this. Golden State, they are the best team in the West. Why? Because one, I have respect because they're the defending champions. To be the best, you gotta beat the champs. And right now, they are still the champs. And the Clippers, yes, they are a great roster, great team roster-wise. But some teams have bad history. They're not gonna do it. And let's be honest, to quietly play games, want to play games enough and play nothing why because defense championships. It sells tickets, but defense win championships. They can't stop me for crying out loud. Well, they'll stop me. But what I'm basically saying is this. They can't play defense. They ain't gonna stop nobody. The Kings put up 176 points on them. Of course, the Kings gave 175. I get that. But all I'm saying is this. You play defense. They haven't proved me for the past couple weeks they can stop anybody. With Phoenix, how they score the ball, then with Denver, with the Kings and the Warriors, and all these teams, they gotta stop somebody. So somebody gotta have gotta defend. Tyronn Lue just sitting there, just shaking his head. Why? Because they can't play defense. You're like, what are y'all doing out there? No, the Clippers ain't finna win nothing, man. Get off the Clippers bandwagon. They with the Phillies. Clippers ain't doing nothing. They ain't doing jack. They're disgrace. They trash, and the owner just mad. He is cheering for nothing because they ain't gonna win nothing. Just saying. Carry on, man. I'm done.
Okay, see Randall, see what you started.
Yeah, I was hoping for it.
That was like told you that was some LA. That was personal. That was personal.
But when you say with the Warriors, they have two players.
Like
they have man. The thing that makes the Warriors that made the Warriors so good was their ball movement and the fact that everybody could shoot the three.
True
now
indeed.
You got two dudes in Draymond Green and Jonathan Kuminga that you can guard from under the basket. They're not going to shoot mid-range. They're not going to shoot the three. Draymond Green will shoot the three, but that's coming off the back rim and into the defense's hands and into a fast break. And he's not as fast as he was. He's not that defensive player of the year that he was. And then you got Steph Curry. Every time he comes back from injury, it seems like he doesn't have a rhythm, and he gets his team out of rhythm because they're searching for him to get the ball. Like Klay Thompson has been the only thing that has been consistent coming out of the All-Star break, and that's the only thing that they got going for him. Like Jordan Poole, yeah, he's a good scorer and everything, but have we really been hearing about him recently? Not really. They just got beat by the Lakers, and the Lakers are looking better defensively.
Yeah, how did that them bums beat you? Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Without LeBron, and bro, I don't really have much faith in the Warriors, and I haven't for a while because Steph Curry, he takes a knee to the calf or to the thigh, and normally that's just like a dead leg for a little while, but now he's out it's been like 3 weeks. And then he's dealing with the shoulder injury. The ankles have always been an issue. So I just don't have a lot of faith in him staying healthy and being able to outscore other teams because they don't have the scores that they used to have. They don't have not even a Harrison Barnes, not even without Andrew Wiggins, and he's going to have to take he's not playing basketball right now even. Like I would hope to think that he's working out and stuff, but with family matters and the personal issues going on, you can't assume that he is playing ball and being able to distract himself from that situation. And so once he comes back, he's going to have to ramp back up and
Yeah.
get to the rhythm defensively because he needs to be that stopper on the best player on the opposing team. So with only 16 games left, time is running out for the Warriors, and I just don't see them being as big of a threat as they were last year. And honestly, what I'm saying right now is the same narrative that we had going into the playoffs last year. So we'll see if I'm wrong this time, but I didn't think they were going to the finals last year either. So
Let me go find me a Clippers hat real quick. You know what I'm saying? You know I got one around here somewhere, Chris.
Clippers, man. Clippers Nation for you, man. Clippers Nation.
So when I think of the
We got
biggest threat in the
17
Western
titles over
Conference,
here, baby. Lake Show.
man, you know what? I was going to give my
Yeah,
pick for the
man.
biggest
But
threat in
I
the Western
mean,
Conference, but I think we wrapped it up, man. I can't really pick anybody else other than the Clippers or the Lakers, but the Lakers are so far down that I can't even pick them.
Who
The
wants to pick
Pelicans are a good team, but they're even further below the Lakers, or they're at a tie.
we gonna
Lakers?
And
we coming, man. We coming. The Lakers coming
bro,
up, man. We ain't that far.
They ain't coming up.
We ain't far.
man,
We coming
I'm
up,
only
man.
messing with it because it's
Matter
Chris
of fact,
Payne.
my
That's it.
dream playoff round will be Lakers Clippers. Let's go.
the playoffs are going to be exciting,
Lakers in
and
five.
we're going to
We
be
in
I'm about,
five.
covering
to,
it
I'm, about
all
to write,
here.
I'm about to write like 10 Clippers articles now and just tag in every last one of them.
Well, hey, we gotta wrap this thing up. I gotta go celebrate with my basketball team. We got a banquet coming up. We got to go eat some pizza and give out some end of season awards. So I really appreciate y'all hanging out with me, chatting with me, man. This was the most fun that I've had in a while. So Chris, Mark, thank you so much. And Chris, let the people know what kind of work you got coming out next and where they can find it at.
Well, I'll be writing some articles for about Lakers. You know, we trying to make some playoff runs, so I'll be doing my Lakers articles for Nuts and Bolts or NBS team now, and also my podcast for Shut Up and Listen, talking about just the latest sports topics going on in the world, as far as sports stuff like things of that nature, and just really just content, staying consistent, and just doing what I'm, man. Talk about sports and just doing articles, man, and just networking with people, man. And
Man, Mark.
Randall and Mark, man.
Yes,
See,
sir.
I mean, I'm with Chris right now. My main goal is just Clippers. That's it. That's all. That's my focus. Clippers. Like, no, let me be Chris alone. But no, I mean, you know, doing everything that I possibly can, you know, to help grow Team MBS. Writing on whatever I could write on: basketball, football, baseball, entertainment. Helping to grow. You know, if you guys need me back on the podcast, I'm really not big on podcasts, but you know, I had fun today. I ain't gonna lie. That's why I really don't go, because everybody normally be all boring and uptight. No, it was fun. I enjoyed this tonight.
Man. We got to have y'all back on.
If you watching, yeah, you in trouble, bro. Well, who Melo root for? Melo was
Melo's a Bucks fan.
Oh, that's God, Jesus. Oh, you should have been on this shit. God. We cursed Melo out. Yo, kick him out the group.
All right, fellas. We got to wrap it up, man. I really appreciate y'all. And please tune in to everything that Team MBS Media puts out, because Mark is an article machine. He's the industrial printer over there. Chris Jordan, man, he is the industrial printer, man. You know, the extra large printer that be printing paper after paper, article after article, man. He's the leading article writer for Team MBS, our senior writer. And then Chris Jordan, man, you know, the most controversial dude, the most take-worthy dude. You know, I appreciate y'all joining me, man.
Chris,
and we got to wrap this thing up. We'll be back next week on the Association Podcast. I'm your host, Randall Gim. Thanks for tuning in, man. We will see y'all next time.